backyard sky.
And where's the worst city in Ohio? That would be Youngstown, hands down. In all reality, Youngstown is a small, dying city with bland, boring suburbs. Youngstown has the 3rd cheapest homes, the 10th worst crime, and the 10th lowest incomes in all of Ohio. Youngstown's troubles started with a sharp economic decline after the closing of steel mills in the 1970s, but for years, officials hoped the problem would go away. They didn't. When you're in some of the worst Ohio communities, some parts might be hard to tell apart, but you can tell who's from Youngstown, though. They're the ones with the 40, the pistol, a beat-up car, and a pit bull. If you don't live in Youngstown or any of the other Ohio cities we mentioned, you don't have it too badly. Congratulations.
So we're right in front of the draft house. We're right here, right in front of the Mahoney County Children's Services Building. Here we can see police trailing them. This looks like sheriff's deputies. It is, Mahoney County Sheriff's deputies trailing this group. You can see them right there. They're just kind of walking along with them. Nothing big at this point. There's a line of cars. Looks like the sheriff's department. Just stay right here, Chandler, for just a second. Okay, let's go up here. Looks like that the police on one end are going to stop them right there. I can see that they have some type of flashing lights, and they're going to stop the protesters right here. Okay, I hear looks like this could be a confrontation of some type. It's right there. Looks like there's flashing lights right in front of the Home Savings and Loan Building. I have sheriff's deputies to my right, and I have the flashing lights of, I believe it's fire trucks. I can't tell because it's dark. They look to be like the size of a fire truck in front of them. Somebody is announcing through a loudspeaker, some type of a police official, that the curfew is in effect and that they could be arrested if they don't disperse.
I'm in the ghetto.
Looks to be some type of an assault truck.
I'm in the ghetto.
Yo.
I'm in the ghetto.
Yo, what's up? Where you at?
I'm in the ghetto.
Yo. Baila conmigo con ese ratata. Mueve ese cuerpo con ese ratata. Baila conmigo con ese ratata. Mueve ese cuerpo con ese ratata. I can't deal with the blah blah blah. Had to let her go so I can focus on my own. My blade and my soldier need to conquer the quinto. I get on my zone, repeat, collect the stone. I got ideas, I put them on the map. They never thought I could dance with the rap. They never thought I could rap with the trap. Stop with the they, this is me with my lap. I'm running through South. I spreading my name through word of mouth. Crump every day, started lifting the weight. Had to fly back, I adapt and create. That first time was a pain. But now I embrace the pain. Not cool, but it builds up my brain. What? Like the quote, no pain, no gain. Baila conmigo con ese ratata. Mueve ese cuerpo con ese ratata. Baila conmigo con ese ratata. Mueve ese cuerpo. Backyard sky. Take the next right onto New Buffalo Road.
The Dukes of Hazzard will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you this special presentation.
I'm Tom Holden. Some things stick in our minds forever. We can easily remember where we were when we heard about Pearl Harbor, what we were doing when we found out that President Kennedy had been shot, how we felt as we watched Neil Armstrong take his first steps on the moon. Around here, we will long remember what we were doing and what we saw on May 31st, 1985.
This is a Newswatch 27 weather advisory. A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Talked to a sheriff's deputy. They said they have the National Guard coming in.
So I've been trying, for ever since this happened on a phone to get through, but couldn't. I don't know whether she was working or what.
People have said to me through the years that that town, the story of Youngstown got to be told. That's a unique town. It hasn't been told right, and it should be told.
What is it about? It's about Youngstown, about having lived in Youngstown, grown up in Youngstown. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Most people don't never heard of it,
Steel turned Youngstown into a boom town. The mills gave workers the American dream, a place to grow up, raise a family, make a good life.
You can always look out the door and say, when I graduate from high school, I'll go into the plant like my father did, at least have some money. They'll all have a car, they'll have a shotgun, they'll all go hunting and fishing and enjoy life.
Disbelief, anger, frustration. Maybe if you were an economic analyst, you could see it coming, but if you were a steel worker raised with the single-minded thought of following your father into the mill for one of those jobs, you couldn't or wouldn't imagine what it would be like to have the blast furnaces ever cool down.
Sports is the glue here. It really is. Always has been.
Mancini jumps all over him, and he is in trouble on the ropes.
Just the type of people that have come out of this area in all phases of sports. And in my own way, I've tried to do the same thing because everybody knows that anybody from Youngstown just goes out and wins.
No small town in America, Youngstown size, has had such a long history of organized crime.
And it's gone on since I was AI.
One of the reasons why the Youngstown and the Mahoning Valley was so mobbed up is because of their proximity to Cleveland and Pittsburgh, which also had a powerful La Cosa Nostra organization.
There were so many bombings in Youngstown.
They had bombings of government officials, councilmen's houses.
And you actually heard, and there was no doubt. Doesn't thunder on a clear night.
That's how the mob works. Violence and the threat of violence or intimidation, and of course corruption of government officials.
Trafficking is accused of taking bribes from alleged organized crime leaders in the Mahoning Valley. The government hopes to portray Trafficking as a corrupt politician who willingly took the mob's money and looked the other way.
There were so many people compromised. It was everywhere.
There were payoffs, there were bribes.
And he mentioned $15,000, and I said no. He started bidding me. He said, how about 20?
Am I different? Yeah. Have I changed my pants? No. Deep down, you want to wear wider bottoms. You're just not secure enough to do it.
Prove it, sucker. Prove it. Prove we're wrong.
Do I do my hair with a weed whacker? I admit.
Beam me up here.
Do I wear skinny ties? Yeah. Coach, wide ties make me look heavier than I am, and I'm heavy enough.
Are you going to resign?
Are you going to resign?
I've never been a quitter. I don't think I'll quit now.
Mr. Gephardt said you should.
Gephardt has no balls. Beam me up. I say it's time for Congress to shove these illegal tactics right up the assets of the IRS.
But I think it's time for our president, Mr. Bush, to say, read my lips, get out. What we're saying is, read my pocketbook. Beam me up, Mr. Speaker. It's time for President Bush to say, read my lips. This president has gone from Disney to Spielberg. Looney Tunes to outer space, and he's not finished yet. I predict his next production will be a Stephen King thriller. Since the bomb did not detonate, it was not deadly. Beam me up, Mr. Speaker.
News reports say, after a game-winning goal at a soccer match in Spain, a player celebrated by biting his teammate who scored on the genitals. Beam me up. Now, I've heard of high fives, back slaps, butt slaps, but ladies and gentlemen, this takes the family jewels. God almighty here. I yield back what has now become known as the big bite. Heavy enough to cause a hernia for the Jolly Green Giant.
Maybe it's the type of jobs that are being created. Check this out. How about a handkerchief folder, a drawstring knotter, a hooker inspector, a pantyhose crotch closer machine operator supervisor. I'm a jackass. A muff winder, a fur blower, a whizzer operator, a brassiere cup molder fitter.
I probably should have been a little bit more diplomatic.
How about a drawstring knotter? That's really a goal in life. Screw supervisor, nut former, ball sorter, needle straightener, bucket chucker, slitter, creaser, slaughter operator. Don't laugh. These are all jobs listed by the Department of Labor.
He better help my district after I'm in jail, too, or I'll come visit him.
I'd have to say, beam me up. And I think these screw supervisors all work for the Internal Revenue Service.
Show me the beef.
The Department of Agriculture has come to several conclusions. Number one, big farm animals produce more manure than small farm animals. And number two, manure stinks.
While I'm congressman, you don't rape my constituents.
We in the yo right now, Youngstown, Ohio, all day, every day on the east side. Feel me? It's a lot of bullshit going around lately, little drama and shit. You know, you got your niggas, you got your real niggas, you got your niggas getting their money, you got them niggas acting funny. You got bras you can trust, bras you can't. You feel me? Don't be too much shit cracking down. Motherfuckers just trying to keep their shit right, get their money. You feel me? Stay afloat.
The communities of Northeast Ohio began to change during the 60s. The segregated projects that were built between the 1930s and 1950s became mostly for the black families. Around this time, the mistreatment of the population led to revolts and riots like in Youngstown, Southside, and Cleveland's Huff and Glenville neighborhoods. These factors, along with the work in the factories slowing down and the suburbs that provided better living conditions, allowed blacks to expand their population into more communities that were once for the wealthy and upper class.
What up, y'all? It's your boy DJ Chap coming at you live on WYGT Radio. Up next, we got that new joint from Crooked. That's Jimmy Deuce and Five. They coming straight out of Youngstown, Ohio. And if you don't know what Youngstown, Ohio is, America, they've been leading your recession since 1979.
We take pride in a place where gray skies, fakes, lies, gang signs, hate crime all happen at the same time. A town that steady declines since 79, where plenty of guys commit them felony crimes. They biggie ready to die. The federals tried to slow it down. The 90s rolled around, they got a better design. They called it 2010, and the bullshit wasn't funny then. And suddenly 100,000 stomachs rumbling, cause money's thin. Maybe that's the days that they came up with crazy ways to make a buck in shady ways. Cause when you're stuck, you make your payday. We might be down, but never out. We're Kelly Pavlik in the second round. Atlantic City with the clan of 50 cats with plans and shifty ass. Handing Lindsay a can of 60 pain pills and a handle of whiskey. You see them cats that standing with me? They family to me. We've been down since Jim Brown was a Cleveland Brown and had a chance to win at 15.
Don't have time. People don't want to waste their time. For people who
strong, cause I know we gotta go beyond. This the yo, it's the home of the underdog. Making something out of nothing like your Wonder Bra. Coming raw, rugged and rough, I bring the wrath. I put my fucking mic down and just beat your ass, pussy. Raps Tyler Durden, I'm more violent version. I'm more violent version of a Spartan fighting Persians. Iceman, yeah, I own the coldest shoulders. What the fuck did you expect from the home of Omarosa? Host holds the toaster, I named it Mancini, cause I let it boom, boom. If you suckers try to see me, this is my city. Y'all is just tourists. I'm the only thing alive that terrifies Chuck Norris. Beast out my cage, dude, I'm busting loose. Better yet, I'm on fire. I'm Richard Pryor, thought you knew. To the day that I lay in the ground decaying, and even then I'm staying in the city I'm found now. I got people on every side, they down to ride. I got your back if you got mine. Ohio State.
On the street. Check it out, a little groundhog. Dang, homie got a nice crib.
They say that saying these babies from the 80s is crazy. They waiting on the day that they can say a prayer. Could've saved me, and when it's over, I confess I lived it for the moment until my coffin cover closes. But killing Mike's, is that a sin I should confess for? I shit on you faggots, my worst murder in your best for. Never frontin', so instead I bring it back. The champ, the greatest, most hated, flyer than a Venus trap. Either that or a slaughter, you know I ought to show your daughter a winner and what this dick feels like dinner. I'm skipping dinner, I done ate too many MCs today. You taking out the trash here, let me empty my plate, let's go.
See, this street is blocked off. You know why? Because they dumped dead bodies back there and they blocked my street off. Sweet.
Skyline of a city is so beautiful. Watch out, stand up. Watch out, stand up. So much talent in the hood. I love it, yo.
I put on for my city, the heart of it all state, where them goons put their faith in slugs and tray eights. Water by the gallon and cheap with them thugs pumping that. So good it got the fiends doing jumping jacks. Squeeze Glocks with wide receiver gloves till they grip so tight that the metal don't budge. Same nigga that knew how to scrap can shoot now. Survival of the fittest, many bounced in blue trap.
Youngstown, Ohio, born and bred general.
Fuel my career and I ain't even at the pinnacle. We could take it back to the outdoor park days when niggas wore afros rocking the barcade. I'm trying to bring my city back to a true self. Steel town, love, happiness, and wealth. I'm praying for peace, we got a long way to go. But no matter the condition, I love it, yo. Let's go.
I love it, yo.
Chase Pool in Westlake, Briar Hill, Kimmer Brooks, Summer Shoot Strip. Used to be off the hook from Dellison to Indianola. Lined up with soldiers, 9/8 and girls with baby strollers. The youngest that was babies, then is thugs now. Formerly broke, begins on bars and clubs now. C-Staples, Belleria handles ice cream is the vaccine for stress drive for big things. Chunky wrists and big rings, singing thing for reality, we beyond big dreams. Star Palace Skate Connection taught us a knuckle game. Recreation crew taught us all how to entertain. 14 karat code, Ray T, the posse. Lady C, Candy Rain, underrated MCs. Hip hop and the watch started on Evergreen. Love you for life, Ross and Uncle Eugene, I love it.
I love it, yo.
My easy access days. Yeah. Them was the greatest days ever, baby. Yeah. We ran the Strat. We ran the Metroplex. We couldn't lose, baby.
South High, all city variety show. East High style show, everybody had to go.
Dressed to impress, thick herringbones and beepers.
Major damage you use, rocking the fly sneakers. Gentlemen's quarters, haircuts from Eva. We always had a daughter, Jennifer was a diva. D-Train.
I worked at a mafia nightclub in Youngstown, Ohio. I was 19. I was 19 years old, right? And I didn't know shit about the mafia. My father was the baddest motherfucker I'd ever seen. So the mafia didn't mean shit to me. I did not relate to the mafia. Right? And I worked with this lady, Satin Doll. She was the star of the show. Beautiful black stripper, right? Because usually in those days, they had like, in clubs, they had a singer and a stripper and an MC. I was the MC. And she was the first black star I ever met, Satin Doll. Yeah, because Duke Ellington had written a tune about her. You know, that's what she used to dance to and act. She was beautiful. She was 60 then. Oh, this bitch was fine though, man. I'm not lying. Lena Horne didn't have shit on her. And she was crying backstage, you know. I gotta get to Buffalo, they won't pay me. I said, who won't pay you? Club owners will. They said, oh, that motherfucker gonna pay me. Bet that. And now this is how ignorant I was. I had a cap pistol. You know them blank starter pistols? I busted into the office with this motherfucker in my mouth. All right, give me the money, motherfucker. Doing my best black shit, you know. You know, that shit usually scare Whitey to death. And these motherfuckers didn't do nothing. And I'm sure that those men are sitting in that room today laughing. Because that's what this dude, he just started laughing. This fucking kid. Hey, wait a minute. Hey, Tony, come here. Wait a minute, Rich, do the gun again. Hey, Tony, come here. Stick up. This fucking kid, come here, you fucking kid.
Slip off my whip, speedless. Calling, I'm about to get the key to the city. Patty, light up the seat. Forget I had the coupe at the lot. Told her 12, swap. Busting all the bells out the box. I just hit the lick with the box. Had to put the stick in the box. Pour up the whole damn field. I'ma get lazy. I got the mojo deals. We been trapping like the 80s. She said that song. Got cash out. Told on white, but no. Say slash. I won't never sell my soul.
So, Kelly, what do you think you mean to Youngstown, Ohio? I mean, you put them on the map with your boxing, your world champion. I've seen your fights where you pack 16,000 and they cheer for you like crazy.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, the loyal fans there is great, but that's all I really say about it. Just a lot of local loyal fans, and then at the same time, though, you got to, everything is small areas, and there ain't much going on there at all. Besides,
the steel mills that left.
Yeah, besides, stuff like that. That's crime and everything else, but. So the loyal fans, though, I mean, you're not going to get better loyal fans than what you get from...
Don't tell me I get robbed there, too, because I got robbed in L.A. They just told me I get robbed in Mexico. Yeah. So if I go to Youngstown, I could get robbed?
Well, just go pull up on the internet, Google it in per capita, the most dangerous cities, and you'll find Youngstown.
Robert!
Right at the top.
I didn't know this. Youngstown, Ohio, one of the most dangerous cities in America. Top pound for pound in crime.
Take my love to Youngstown, so we can belong here, and they can blessings burning, flames of ecstasy, with dreams just turn the heartbreak, like a hump rock kingdom made.
Little Chicago, just one of many labels the city of Youngstown has worn over the years. Steeltown was the most noble. It reflected the very essence of this community. Its strong ethnic mix produced a tough blue-collar class of people who worked hard by day and played just as hard by night. To liken a small city like Youngstown to a major one might engender a burst of civic pride, but the analogy to Chicago was not meant to be complimentary. It's just that both cities were infested with murderous gangsters. Big Chicago had Al Capone. He considered himself a modern-day Robin Hood. Capone provided bootleg whiskey to people who preferred partying to Prohibition, and soup kitchens to the down and out during the Depression. The former bodyguard and hitman rose to power by first rubbing out those he was hired to protect, and then anyone else who got in his way, giving all a lavish send-off. The gangland-style killings here in the early 60s were far less frequent than those in Capone's days, but every bit as brutally violent.
Youngstown's really going downhill, but you just don't hear very many nice things about it anymore. But the people from out of town really, like she said, think it's little Chicago.
A writer proclaimed that crime was to Youngstown what movies were to Hollywood and cars to Detroit.
Hey, Channel 27, what's a Tom Holden?
Tom Holden is an anchorman.
Well, what's an anchorman?
He tells you what's going on in the Mahoning Valley, and Tom does that better than anybody because he's been here all his life. School, college, work. He knows our people, talks to them, listens to them. When you know people, you're their friend.
So Tom Holden's a friend?
You bet. And if you watch 27 at 6 and 11, you will find out why most folks agree with us. Tom Holden's the anchorman. Tom Holden's your friend.
Backyard sky.